By the late 90s, my mentor, Rabbanit Chana Henkin, had heard too many stories of women who were trying very hard to keep the laws of Hilchot Nida, the laws of Jewish family life, and for one reason or another, it wasn't working the way that they had anticipated, the way that they maybe were promised when they were young brides. She said something has to be done, someone needs to take care of these women, and that is the day that Yoatzot Halacha were born.
Thank God we have grown from ground zero to almost a couple of hundred Yoatzot throughout the world, and they are doing their job masterfully.
After I left Israel, I moved to Los Angeles, and whenever I would see Rabbanit Henkin over the years, she would say to me, Yardena, one day you'll become a Yoatzot Halacha. And being the dreamer that she is, I always just smiled and said, how is that going to happen? I live in Los Angeles, your program is in Israel. And lo and behold, she brought the program to the United States, and I am so, so grateful. It was such a life-changing experience for me.
As part of being married to the rabbi, I became a college teacher also. So I was familiar with the laws of Taharat HaMishpacha, and that was really how it was for many years, and I enjoyed that. But this opportunity gave me a chance to really dive in much deeper to halachot that I was somewhat familiar with, but really had never gone through in such detail.
I was in Stern College for Women, and one of the women that we met was Yoatzot Halacha Bracha Rutner. I remember being so blown away by the work that she does and how she helps the women, the families, the community. And so I applied to the program, and I feel so blessed to be part of the community.
I learned about the program kind of from the other side, from the perspective of a woman who could have used a Yoatzet. If I could be there for women to alleviate any level of anxiety in the area of Taharat HaMishpacha, that's all I wanted to do.
Looking back, it was like the best 2.5 years immersed in such intense Torah study that was so invigorating, so exciting, so challenging. And then there were also some other pieces that were definitely unexpected, like my chavrusa. After the first summer of learning, I was like, don't ever break us up. Like everyone knew, Stacey and Racheli, you can't ever break them up. It was so amazing learning with her. You were such a great chavrusa, like we really balanced each other out. We had different strengths that really complemented each other and made the learning more enjoyable. Also like the social piece of having a chavrusa, a friend, someone who I look up to as like a big sister, really.
It was one of the most gratifying experiences of my life. I'm beyond thrilled. I feel like I found a family in the desire to help women in their mitzvah observance.
As a community rabbi and also the husband of a Yoatzet, I like calling myself a Yoetzin. I understand that many women in the community greatly benefit from the Yoatzet. Our family is inspired by my wife and the dedication she has and everything she does for all the women who turn to her.
What's critical and just part and parcel of how we work with communities is that the Yoatzet establishes a strong connection with the rabbi or the rabbis of the community. And they work together in order to meet the needs of the community in a way that is comfortable and dignified.
I feel very fortunate that this program was around when I got married. Through my journey of having kids and going through struggles, I know that I've always had that comfort that there's somebody to call, another woman to call who understands everything we're going through.
There was one time that a gentleman came to our house and he said, I must thank you. I said, we didn't know the gentleman. He was a Jewish guy, and he said, I must thank you for having Nishmat helping me. So I said, well, what do you mean? So he said, because of you, we have now 3 boys.
Having the Yoatzot Halacha work side by side means that so many more people are now going to inquire and learn and be engaged in these very important mitzvos.
As a Rebbitzin, I'm not only thankful that we have a Yoatzin in our community, but I honestly can't imagine doing what I do as a Rebbitzin without a Yoatzet in our community. She's integral from, again, an emotional standpoint, a halachic standpoint. She's an integral part of the team.
When I think about the position of Yoatzot, it reminds me of my career in dentistry. I'm a mobile dentist, which means that I bring dental equipment to people's homes, to nursing homes, to people who don't have access to care. I do that in my professional life, and I feel like there's a lot of parallel to being a Yoatzet in providing that access to care, access to halacha for women that they would not have otherwise. There are so many women who call me who would not be calling a rabbi, who would not be getting answers to their questions. And it's even more than that, because even the women who would reach out to somebody else with a question, when they're speaking to another woman, I say that there's always a question behind the question, and there's always something that comes out in that conversation. For example, a woman calling with a simple question, or a woman calling about when is her mikvah night might be experiencing infertility. And all of these things come out in conversations, and it always affects the conversation, and I feel that I'm able to help women in addition to the halacha piece, but also in the human emotional piece as well.
They're asking many, many more questions. We see that on a regular basis. So I can tell you that just wanting women to observe these halachot, Yoatzot Halacha is the address to increasing the observance of Taharat HaMishpacha.
At this graduation, we're celebrating 26 women who finished our program between the years 2017 and 2023. We're not only celebrating the 2 years of intensive study that they spent, but we're celebrating the amazing impact that they have had in their communities.
The message to the graduates today is first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for the time that you spent, for the love and for the dedication that you bring to your learning, to your desire to help, to give the women of our community an outlet that is so deeply appreciated and pays forward more than you probably are privy to. And continue to spread your wings, continue to join communities, and continue to do the incredible work that you do. We are so deeply grateful.